In the papers, that's what they say, that the airport will help Illiana, Illiana will help the airport. It's going to be a beautiful marriage.
And if it ain't for Indiana, we can have either one, so.
That's what they say, they've married them in
Well,
the
they're gonna,
papers.
yeah, if they're going to marry the partisan, maybe you'll be asked a lot of questions about it, and maybe you need to touch on that too.
Well, and
Yeah, the left hand should know what the right hand's doing.
And not follow.
No, that's how they get away with it.
Right.
keep that in mind as we.
Now that you've heard this, now what? Now that you've heard all of this, what do you come up with? What about the gentleman there in the blue shirt? I don't know who he is.
Rick,
Yeah, Rick. I mean, what does this mean to
well,
you?
you know, Steve, you know,
He's done
he
a
can
good job.
report to his superiors what the people here said. You know, that's really the extent. I mean, he's not the ultimate decider of getting the project done or not. You know, that's like I said, at a much higher level.
They pull a string and.
Have you ever talked to anybody at one of these meetings that said, yeah, I want the toll road? Maybe the mayor of
Guess not.
Pietro.
When I get over closer towards Wilmington, I do get more of the anticipation that it's coming. You can see the development sprawling really off Wilmington Piatone as you go. The truck traffic out there is getting more and more worse, and it's just beginning.
But they're talking to the wrong person. The village of, or the city of Wilmington granted the permits for that. Elwood, you know, has a TIF lawsuit against CenterPoint for $150 million because they're come up short with their estimates and stuff. You know, people need to blame the people that are doing it. I mean, that's what you just said. That, you know, let's see, the hospital wasn't necessarily on state property, but since it was on a state road, well, CenterPoint's not necessarily on it, but isn't this Bridgeport? Aren't you actually running an interstate right in there? I mean, didn't I see roads running into right into their big 3,000
Well, the issue
acre
with Ridge was, and we're not upgrading 129 into Kavanaugh. The issue was I had to replace 129 because the bridge is in bad condition. So then when we look to replace it, we project out to the year 2040, which includes that development. So now I need a bigger interchange there. That's what happened.
and they don't have to pay a dime, even though they're touching the state road, right? I mean,
Well,
you ask the hospital, which we all know
on
what
Ridge,
happens to
I know
hospitals.
they have an extensive network that they have planned within it. Kavanaugh Road and then Lorenzo, Murphy's in the middle. But so they do have. But the.
It's okay.
Right,
You know, it's okay. You've answered every question tonight, and every time you get done, we all look at each other and going, man, I'm glad I don't have that job. Because you're not going to win. Out of all this I see, the biggest loser I see is the next generations. You know, when I travel, I go see the Grand Canyon. I go see different things all through the whole country. One of the things that is really honorable with the state of Illinois has been Medewan, all right, and Des Plaines area and stuff that have eagles and native grass and stuff. And when I actually see the mentality of trying to shove an interstate through Wilmington and within miles, Medewan will someday be a national treasure, and we'll have to listen to semis because somebody did such poor planning on our natural resources. So to me, when I look at this whole thing in a big scope and stuff, we're trading a national treasure of tallgrass prairie, which is nowhere else, just for some intermodal truck traffic because somebody did a piss poor job planning. Whether if it's the village or a city or whatever, that's going to cripple tens of thousands of people for years to come. Period.
As well as disrespecting our veterans that are just to the north of that at Abraham Lincoln Cemetery. They deserve their final resting place to be peace and quiet, not disgraced by a bunch of traffic and extra truck traffic because you put an interstate so close.
It exists that way today.
And the Illiana will only make it worse.
You're feeding the animals.
There's
Feeding the monster.
15 to 30
Feeding the monster.
15 to 30 funerals that go in there a day. With the extra traffic, with the Illiana south of there, will only make it more difficult for our veterans who, because of them, we're free, so to speak, and have this country. They've laid their life on the line so we can have what we have, and they can't get to their final resting home because there's going to be how much more truck traffic because that Illiana is going to be south of there. That is disgusting and dishonorable.
I'm not happy.
There's a variation at that point. Add below and above.
Steve, I want to say one more thing. As far as this eminent domain, taken land for the good of the people, you know, that's what eminent domain's supposed to be about, is to help your society. We're not helping society. We're helping big business. You know, big business is going to be grabbing our land because it's not going to be the state of Illinois that's building this road. It's going to be a vendor, which is going to be big business. You got to be big business in order to build a road like this, and big business is the one that's ordering it up. So, like I say, it's like the tail wagging the dog. Our government is supposed to serve the people, not big business. Big business isn't supposed to be dictating what government is doing, and that's exactly what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Big business is, corporations are not people, money is not free speech.
Yeah.
That's a heart of the problem ever since the 1800s and 60s or something. Some ruling when they started this whole thing, giving corporations the right to do things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just getting to runaway proportions to where, you know, it's got to stop somewhere. And this would be a good example to stop big business in its tracks and say, look, you made a nuisance here, now clean it up. You know, do the right thing. You know, if you want to get across this area, why don't they just split it up or something like that? If they want to put half their business over in Indiana, why don't they do that? You know, as far as the rail, like I say, the rail runs between there and Gary. Gary needs a lot of redevelopment. We don't need more development to the south of the county over there or anything. We need redevelopment on the north end over on our side.
So you mean Detroit?
Yeah, same difference, you know, they're both in the same basket with Illinois. But, yeah, we don't need this all over here creating a nuisance when you can split it up. I mean, you know, too much in one spot is not good. And I think it'd be a whole lot better if they would split that up, move a little bit over there, consider using the rail to run containers across there. I don't know, they're probably running containers across on that railroad now and offing them over here and putting them on a truck and sending them back. You know? I mean, exactly, that's a big possibility. You see containers going that way on that rail, so it's a possibility. But anyway, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you. We feel you're wrong, but thank you.
Thank you.